right, man. I seen something on Sports Illustrated. What is it? All Lions page said that the Lions. You made a rumor going around the Lions could trade up for JJ McCarthy. And I just find it interesting. Obviously, y'all know I cover Michigan football too. You can check out the College Sports Talk playlist. And I find it funny about JJ McCarthy. I heard somebody say in the one scout said, I don't know the credibility, I just, read an anonymous scout said that they feel like J.J. McCarthy could be like Joe Burrow if the Michigan offense passed the ball a lot. I'm not going to agree or hardly dispute that. Michigan really, at one point they had a lot of pass catchers. Tyreek, what was my man's name? The kid that went to, did he go down to Texas? Black, and Nico, who doing well in the league, and they had Donovan Peoples-Jones, and every reason they had a hard time like really getting them the football. So Harbaugh, and then you had Wilton Spade, John O'Corn. A lot of people was wondering why Brandon Peters not got in the game. We figured that out. He couldn't play. Then he went to, we gonna, run the ball, be great in the trenches, you get solid tight end play, get great running back play, and we're going to have a good little receiver in Roman Wilson, and we'll figure it out. So McCarthy, he can make some amazing plays, and, he can miss. He can miss some easy throws here and there, but he can really sling the football. I think, when you talk about Burrow, I think just from a production standpoint, maybe they just speak on that, but as from a quarterback standpoint, I think McCarthy's arm is more electric than Joe Burrow. But I think Joe Burrow is just, his consistency, his accuracy, is just, his IQ is just on another level compared to McCarthy. But also, I think they both have that it factor. And I think that's kind of where going into it at. And I think where a lot of Lions fans that say, well, articles that they got their franchise passer, Jared Goff, which I don't dispute that. But if you see something in a guy you really like, I just feel like you got to pull the trigger. I think Kansas City, they did it with Patrick Mahomes. You got to remember, too, New Orleans was ready to take Patrick Mahomes, and they told Drew Brees that they was drafting the guy to give him a heads up. And I think Andy Reid jumped him in the draft for Kansas City and took Patrick Mahomes, and that was the best thing they ever could have done. So, like I said before, if you feel like you got somebody that's that special, I feel like you got to take it. You got to take them. This is where you get in trouble. When I did the video, and every year it's the group of fans or a couple of fans, or it's definitely more than one, that say, well, draft all defense, and it don't work that way. You have that mentality, and you pass up on Mahomes or Reggie White or Jerome Brown or John Randall. I'm naming defensive players. Pass up on a Manning, a Harrison, a James, a Falk, Jamal Charles. You pass up on Priest Holmes. Can't do that. Derrick Henry. So you really got to kind of look at it, and you got to evaluate every position. Because if you say, well, we got a quarterback. Okay, if your quarterback ain't Patrick Mahomes, if it ain't Lamar Jackson, if it ain't Joe Burrow, especially if healthy, Josh Allen, it's a real short list, man. Like, it's a real short list. Trevor Lawrence, maybe. CJ Stroud, guys like that, you looking. You got to turn over every stone. And the Lions would do themselves a disservice. You said, well, they got Hendon Hooker. Took him in the third or fourth round. It ain't nothing for him to be a third quarterback on there or compete for the second spot. It's not a high draft pick. You can move on from that with minimum financial responsibility or penalty. So you're already, and this is the thing about it, unless you have those elite level quarterbacks that you feel that's at an A level, A minus and above level, That's difference maker. Like I said, Jackson, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, guys like that. You know, especially if they not older neither, they pretty much in their prime and young enough. You know, you're gonna use hypergamy at every position. At every position, but the quarterback position is something that, you know, people don't think about because it's one. So you can put 2 running backs on the field. They can share the load. You can have 2, 3, 4 receivers on the field. You got 2 tackles, 2 guards. You do only got 1 center, you know, but outside of that, you think about it, 2 safeties, you know, 2 or 3 corners, you know, 2 or 3 linebackers, 2 defensive tackles, 2 ends. You know, once you kind of you start breaking down football and thinking about it, you got really, it's 1 quarterback that affects the game. It's 1 center that affects the game. It's 1 kicker, 1 1 punter that all affects the game in those different ways. So, yeah, that's just something to kind of just chew on for people. But, you know, you're always looking for a better option. You know, in football, it's hypergamy. Unless you got the elite level at quarterback, you know, or unless they just gamers, winners, and ballers, you know, you looking to level up. And if they feel like McCarthy, Phoenix, or Jaden Daniels is that guy, they'd be doing themselves a disservice if they didn't go out there and get him. You know, but you're gonna do your just do. And it'd be interesting with J.J. McCarthy falls. And it'd have been very interesting had Quinn Ayers came. I think Quinn Ayers and Shedeur Sanders made great decisions to come back to school. Had Quinn Ayers won the national championship, he probably would have came out. You know, but McCarthy has got he got the tools to be great. He got that it factor. So, but honestly, we know we are looking at corner, interior lineman, on the edge. And I won't be surprised if you didn't see some more changes coming with the Lions. I think you're going to see a couple guys they let walk in free agency. I think you're going to see a couple more guys get cut. That's just what it's going to be. But, you know, McCarthy, sell tickets, good kid. You know, he brings some things that golf don't bring. Just from a raw talent. Great arm, ability to run, big 6'3", about 210, 220. So, but then one would argue Hendon Hooker brings some of those ingredients to the table too. You know, maybe not as young as McCarthy. You know, I don't think his arm is just naturally as snappy and powerful as McCarthy. But he can spin the ball down the field. Hell of an athlete. I mean, you know, he had a great college quarterback run in Tennessee till he got injured. He probably definitely would have been a first round pick. And you see the success that Anthony Richardson had and C.J. Stroud had. You know, maybe he can have that success too. So, but it's always hypergamy at that quarterback position, like it or not. It always should be, unless it's, you know, Mahomes, Jackson, Madden, Marino, Elway, Favre, Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? You know, Montana, Young. You know, unless you got that guy, Vic. You know, guys like that. But let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification. Increase your chance of getting notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. You can find me everywhere from Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole 9. Peace.